Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here once again to talk about the week's most interesting news stories for the week of the first week of March 2019 here on News AF.
If the story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
Your actual factual news team is here again to talk about our top stories for the week. And it's all happening here with you on the first week of March. And us, all of us here. And here is Mr. March, Tyson Apostle. Tyson, how are you?
I'm great. I'm glad even though I'm sick and on my deathbed.
What's happened to you?
Just age. You're
getting old. You're getting old.
I mean, let me introduce Danny Bryson first before we go into all of my ailments.
Yes.
Danny.
I'm feeling great.
It might be a long time before we get to Danny then.
Danny's even older than me.
What?
Yeah, by a couple months.
Yeah.
And he's feeling great, and I'm over here about to die. Yeah, dude. So Bergen got this illness, and the whole time she's like, I need more medicine. And I'm like, yeah, right. You just like medicine.
You're a drug addict.
And then, yeah, exactly.
You don't want that monkey on your back.
I know. And I don't want that responsibility and that blame and stuff. So I'm like, no, we're going to do it the healthy way.
There's some healing stones.
Yeah, some healing stones and some
crystals,
essential oils.
Yeah.
So I was just like sharing forks and spoons with Bergen, not giving a care, like whatever she's got's not too bad. And then I got it like a couple days ago, and it just knocked me on my ass.
Have you been apologizing to Bergen ever since?
Yeah, I felt so bad. I mean, I wasn't hard on her. I was just like, no, you're fine. You don't need more medicine. And now I'm like, give me all the medicine.
All the medicine.
I'll take whatever opioids I need to take. Like I just have like severe sinus infection with severe sore throat with severe cough and congestion.
Is anything not severe with like minimal butt rash or like?
Oh, I don't know if the butt rash is linked to the rest of the illness or if that's a separate case.
It's all severe.
Yeah, but I have. Today's the first day that I don't have a severe sore throat or congestion. I just have a little bit of sinus still going on, so I'm feeling okay.
Okay,
but
on a side note about kids in medicine. No one ever told me that you could take too much. So when I went out on my own and I never read the instructions.
Oh, is that why you take so much medicine?
No. I once had a sore throat, right? And I remember taking like 5 or 6 Advil at a time just because that's what it took. And I thought with medicine, you just take as much as you had to until the pain eventually dissipated. And so I wish someone would have told me.
So if the pain didn't disappear immediately once you popped the medicine,
yeah, basically.
Otherwise,
I was like, oh, that didn't work with 3. I got to take 3 more. And I still remember
the medicine is like a fire extinguisher.
Yes, exactly. And I just kept
keep
spraying.
applying until.
And now I read the warning labels and I think, wow, man,
you're like, these aren't accurate because I ate way more medicine than is even allowed.
Hopefully my kids will be more intelligent than me. I could be like, just read the instructions, please, on the backs of the bottles.
When my back went out and I took 2 opioids that Rachel had left over, like I felt incredible. But also I was super sweaty and just like felt like I had the meat sweats. And I was like, I feel great. I feel really great. Yeah. Like really, 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 really great. And I was like, this is how drug addicts act.
Yeah. So the meat sweats.
More on that to come later in this hour.
Yeah, exactly. Can't wait to talk about the meat sweats.
All right, let's get into our top stories at this hour. We have an inspiring story of survival to talk about here today on the show. Let's talk about this man who was a person who was able to survive in the snow for 5 days. And Danny, when desperate times call for desperate measures, that this man needed to eat. And so he turned to what he had, which were packets of Taco Bell sauce.
Okay, interesting part about this story. I like the Taco Bell sauce, but the other thing I like when I read it is that the kid gets stuck in the snow. And instead of like, and I know it's like people say, don't walk away from the vehicle, stay with the vehicle. That's your best chance of survival. This kid in this moment of crisis decides to take a nap. So He's stuck. He decides now's a good time to take a nap in this moment. And then he wakes up, and when he woke up, it had snowed even more. And now he was really trapped. And the nap aspect of this is fascinating to me because I would be too wired, to even think, oh, you know what? I'm stuck. I may die in this car. I think I'll take a nap.
Dude, they're chill AF up in Oregon.
Oregon, yeah. That guy is super chill.
So I like this story too, but the one thing about it is that the hot sauce packets did not save his life. If he didn't have hot sauce packets,
Are you sure?
He would have been fine for 5 days. He probably would have less burning butthole if he didn't eat.
Now he's just got bloody discharge. Exactly. In the article I read, they said that you can go up to like 6 weeks without
easily.
food.
Yes.
Only a couple. That's how Jesus did it. Only a couple days without water, right?
I had a friend.
Even without Taco Bell sauce, Danny?
Yes. Even with Jesus did it even without Taco Bell sauce.
Yeah, he didn't have Taco Bell sauce.
Listen, I had a friend who just did like 49 days or something.
No way.
Yes.
What's the reaction of your body? It begins to eat itself. You get scurvy. Your teeth are falling out.
Wait, you have a friend who didn't eat for 49 days?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Were they on Australian Survivor?
No. He had he had fatty liver issues and some other stuff, and he was having a lot of health stuff. And his dietitian suggested he just do
that's crazy.
Fast for as long as he can. The goal was 2 weeks, and at 2 weeks he was like, I can do longer. And the dietitian, I mean, he went into the doctor every day or every other day, and he water and supplements for 49 days.
Is your friend Simon Pegg? Because I saw a picture of him recently, and wow.
Were the supplements Taco Bell sauce?
Yeah, it was Taco Bell sauce because they have every nutrient that you need in there. But he said he kind of like didn't really feel too terrible after. He's like the first few days were horrific, and then after that he was fine. Mm-hmm. And that because I was asking him a little bit about it, he's like, I just didn't do anything. He's like, I just pretty much laid there and moved around a little bit, but
sounds pretty good.
What if the new, how at when you leave like the doctors or certain places, they have bowls of mints. What if you just provided bowls of Taco Bell sauce packets?
Why?
I was just thinking of like a nice little.
I think at my grandma's
Taco Bell sauce packet a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah, exactly.
You open my grandma's fridge and like McDonald's ketchup packets and hot sauce packets and stuff all fall out, and then you open her purse and it's just like filled with sweet and low packets and free napkins.
There is a better Oregon trapped in snow story. Did you guys read? It was like a month.
This week?
2 months ago. No, it was 2 months ago. There was a semi truck driver who drove down a road in Oregon, went the wrong way, got trapped in snow, walked all the way back, didn't eat for 2 or 3 days, and guess what? His truck was full of
Taco Bell sauce packets,
potato chips. And when asked, why didn't you eat some potato chips? The guy was like, they weren't mine. That was a true hero story.
That guy's getting job offers left and right now.
That to me was a mind-blowing story. It's impressive this guy ate taco packets, but that's all he had, right? He wasn't tempted by anything else. The real test is to be trapped, starving, and have a semi-truck full of potato chips and not touch them and walk out. That's impressive.
Yeah, but for 2 days, come on. 2 days is not that big.
Well, it would have been hard for him. 2 days. I mean, here's a guy who drives trucks for a living. He's not some young buck like this kid with his out for a trip with his dog.
Now, Danny, as our resident expert in eating spicy foods, Danny one time ate a ghost pepper in front of a live audience for new listeners.
He nibbled. He nibbled on it.
I took a bite, bro. I took a bite.
A nibble.
Well, it counts as a bite.
If you eat hot sauce, if you eat Taco Bell hot sauce packets in cold weather, will it generate heat in your body enough so to keep you warm? Are you supercharging your system to fight the cold?
Maybe Tyson should have been eating that instead of.
Is it like antifreeze?
Syrup.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Maybe there's something to it. I think it creates the illusion of warmth, and that might do something for you mentally. But this guy was starting his car up periodically to heat it up and then fall asleep, turn it off.
There was a story about a kid a video I saw of a kid eating the hottest chocolate bar in the world.
Hottest chocolate bar in the world?
And
yeah, chocolate and chilies. That's
it wasn't even the Carolina Reaper. It was like the Death Reaper. And as I watched him suffer in his car alone, and he was frantically trying to eat pudding to suppress the heat.
Is pudding what
I
you eat
sympathized
now?
a little bit. No, I don't know. It was kind of weird, but he was eating what
You have a
like
special bond for sure with anybody else who's put a hot pepper in their mouth.
I should have reached
Or
out.
eats pudding in their car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it was-
probably a Reddit subreddit for you guys, a group.
So
hot pepper survivors.
Tyson, are we advocating that people keep emergency rations of Taco Bell sauce in their car in case they end up being either, the car goes into a ditch, earthquake, some other natural disaster where they're stuck in their car, flooding?
We're definitely advocating, keeping something in there. Hot sauce packets, I don't know. Until Taco Bell sends us a big fat check, I'm not going to necessarily have that come out my mouth.
Yeah.
But I think like non-perishable granola
Condiments,
bars or something like that. Condiments, you think? I'm thinking some
relish packets probably offer
relish is good. Get some vegetables, right?
Yeah, get some fiber in there. Get some ketchup.
Yeah.
Mustard. All of that is so gross, dude. Do you know how starving I'd have to be to like goo a bunch of mayonnaise into my mouth?
2 days. I give you 2 days and you're squirting mayonnaise.
No,
in your mouth.
2 days.
Yeah.
No, I would die before I slurped up any.
No, I don't think that's true.
Yeah, 100%.
I think day 45, Satan comes to you with some packets of mayonnaise, and he's like, "Would you like to get out of this situation?"
That mayonnaise is looking pretty
No,
good.
No.
Hand me the mayonnaise, Satan.
No,
I am
yeah.
taking it.
No,
They don't call it Miracle Whip for nothing.
I will. So wait, is it mayonnaise or Miracle Whip that we're eating here?
What would you rather?
Neither. I will refuse.
Okay, both.
to eat
A packet
either.
of each.
If
I think
it
you're
was
taking it,
smeared,
Tyson.
if it was smeared thinly on a sandwich and they were like, "Here's the sandwich," I was like, "Is there Miracle Whip or mayonnaise on that?" Yes, I'd be like, "I can last a couple more days."
Tyson, starving people will chew boot leather, eat their neighbors.
Okay, I'll do
Cats
that.
and dogs.
Yes, I'll do that.
Feast on a rodent.
Yep, I'll do that.
You would eat mayonnaise.
No,
If that's all that was left,
No.
you would.
no,
You're only saying that because you've never felt the desperation of
get out of my
starvation.
face.
Okay, let's talk about another big story, and this is one that we want to get into. Of course, we like to cover all of the latest social media stories and airline stories, and this is the two coming together here. Great news for people who like to fly JetBlue, like myself. There's a contest.
For people who like to fly in general.
Yeah. There's a contest, Tyson. JetBlue is offering people the chance for free flights for a full year. Anywhere JetBlue travels, all you have to do is one thing. Delete all your Instagram posts and replace them with JetBlue propaganda.
Just one JetBlue propaganda. That's the only post you'll have on your Instagram feed. I love the idea. Like my dad actually emailed this story to me and he's like, "Check this out." And I was like, "Should I? Could I? Would I?"
Ooh, that sounds like a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah, should I, could I, would I? And I decided I cannot. But if JetBlue were like, "You are for sure the winner of the contest if you do that," then I would.
Here's the thing. This is a great way to get rid of possibly bad social media. You're like, "Hey, look, I got a contest." And hopefully every now and then you get someone to delete their entire Instagram when they've got a couple Instagram posts in there about how crappy JetBlue is.
Yeah.
That is good.
So you have to be submitted by 9 a.m. on March 8th. 3 winners will be chosen. And JetBlue will also cover airfare for the winner's travel companions. So for you and a friend.
For how long? For a year?
1 year.
1 year, anywhere they travel, as often as you want. The thing is that it kind of, anybody who would really capitalize on this would have to have some type of disposable income where they could take a year off to really like go everywhere.
This is expensive, even with the free flights.
Yeah.
Hotels, food.
Yeah. I mean, you could be a nomad and just camp everywhere. Danny,
And like, I don't know where JetBlue flies to. I feel like you'd be doing a lot of flights to like
Minnesota.
Tulsa.
They fly all over. They fly all over.
Where's the best places they fly?
New
Caribbean?
York, Los Angeles. I mean, they go to all the major
You already
cities.
live in Los Angeles.
Okay,
so you-
if I had free flights to New York for a year, that I would probably go at least
Yeah.
2 or 3 times.
yeah, that's because you have family out there.
Yeah. Okay. So
Uh,
that's good. I mean, they go all over that. They're not
do
like
they go to Hawaii? No. Do they go to
So
Caribbean?
I just typed
they
in
think they do
where
go to the Caribbean.
does,
Yeah, I think they do.
and I typed in where does with the J, and it automatically autofilled JetBlue fly. I think a couple people have researched
Wow.
this.
Everybody's researching it
Like,
before
wait.
they delete their entire Instagram feed.
So at
Right.
least 100 people did this.
So JetBlue themselves deleted all of their Instagram posts, and they only have this one post up. Now, Tyson,
And that's the post you have to share.
Well,
Yeah.
we like to always look a little bit deeper. Do you think that JetBlue had some incriminating Instagram posts, and if they would have just deleted those posts, that people would have said, "Hey, why did JetBlue post we love Kevin Spacey like 2 years ago?"
2 years.
And
This is
then-
what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what happened. They posted some stuff and they were like, in 10 years, that's not going to be PC anymore. We got to get rid of it. Because
They must have had a lot of posts like that because they deleted the whole thing, and then it's like, hey, everybody should do it.
Yeah.
This is pretty good. Actually,
Louis
they fly-
C.K. is number one. I think they had that posted about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They actually have a couple good destinations.
Yeah, Danny, I don't know why you're talking about JetBlue like it's
Because
like
my vision of JetBlue
college
is-
kid airlines.
Yeah. Come
Yeah,
on.
my vision of JetBlue is the one from like 10 years ago
Mhm.
where they went to like Fort Lauderdale.
That's
Mini,
not a bad place, dude. You can go to spring break. Come on, my
No,
man.
but you know what I mean. It was like a handful of destinations.
Okay, so where's
Maybe
their
some-
best destinations now?
Tell me where you want to go, Tyson.
Hawaii.
I don't see that on here.
Yeah, I don't know if they go to Hawaii,
go to
but they
Europe.
go to every other
Sorry, Tyson.
major airport.
And they have international. They go to Bogota. You can go
Okay,
there.
that would be awesome. No,
Yeah.
Colombia's beautiful, I heard.
They go to Costa Rica. They go to Mexico. They
Yep.
go to
Okay, I'm in. I'm in.
Okay, so
Okay.
will you delete all your Instagram? See,
If
I
they
don't-
guarantee me the victory, I will.
see, it's not really worth it for somebody who has a big Instagram following. I
No,
wouldn't
not at
think,
all.
right?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Why
matter.
does it matter? I'm still going to have the same amount of followers whether I delete all my posts or not.
No, because when a new person shows up, Tyson, they want to see a record. They want to know who is this person that I'm
And
about
why
to follow.
is he so popular?
Not that anyone follows anyone nowadays. It's like it's hard to get new followers because it's a big petrified.
Not
force
if you
out
buy
there.
them.
Yeah, you get robots to follow you for sure.
Mhm.
They're definitely open-minded.
Yeah.
Most
By the way, JetBlue does fly to Honolulu.
Oh, I didn't
And,
see it
yeah,
on the map.
Well, they
Thank
do
you,
go to
Rob.
Hawaii.
Okay. Boom.
Okay.
So we go everywhere that, yeah. Okay. JetBlue, if you're listening, which I assume you are, I will do this if you guarantee me the victory.
Okay.
Not
All
much
right,
of a
Tyson,
contest.
social media influencer. That could
Yeah.
be a big prize. Okay.
Huge prize.
So they'll pick 3 people at random. I don't know how many people are actually going to enter this, but if you have nothing going on your Instagram, why not?
yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
All right. Let's talk about another big viral sensation going on, and another one of these challenges. We didn't actually talk about last week. A lot of news about the Momo challenge. Are you guys on top of the Momo challenge?
No, what's the Momo challenge?
Oh, Momo challenge is a big deal, and a lot of people are worried about the Momo challenge. But then it's also
Oh, I know
is
what
there
that
talk about is the Momo challenge a hoax?
It is
Where
a hoax.
Allegedly that there are in the in YouTube videos then that things are allegedly popping up and telling your kids, like your toddlers, to do very dangerous things and potentially hurt
Oh.
themselves or hurt you.
That
And
was
I
a
believe-
story a long time ago.
It
too.
was, but then I think that Kim
Yeah.
Kardashian this
Came out,
week
yeah.
said, like, hey, guys, let everybody know, Momo challenge, be on the lookout. And everybody got up in arms, but now there's some talk about, was that a hoax? What's happening here? And that wasn't what I wanted to talk about here, but that Momo picture is pretty terrifying.
It is terrifying, but the creator of Momo came out and said that the character's dead. For whatever
What?
it's-
Oh, that they did the Momo challenge and died?
Well, probably.
The
but
Momo
I
character
think
did
he
the
had to
Momo
come out-
challenge.
I think he came out and said, "Yeah, I've killed off this character or the whatever, however he can do that." But that's a darker challenge. This is a challenge, the American cheese challenge.
It seems like that the Momo challenge was an urban legend, and so I'm glad that we didn't talk about it on our show last week and warn people about it, because that would have been fake news. But yes, so according to this is an article from Vox. According to lore, the Momo challenge is a viral game shared on messaging services like WhatsApp that goads young children into violence or even suicide. Images of the devilish bird lady supposedly pop up with creepy messages and commands that are said to escalate violence and horror. But it does seem like they're calling it a viral hoax. Back in my day, they called that an urban legend.
Yeah. Bird lady, is that D from It's Always Sunny?
Yeah, that's D.
So
it's a picture of D.
Okay, but people are really worried about this. Okay, but we need to talk about a real challenge that's going on. The cheese challenge, Danny. Have you participated in the cheese challenge, or are your kids too old?
I don't have. Okay, so I have a 3-year-old, and I don't have any American cheese. Like I have that.
That's why the challenge was created.
Right off their face.
The American cheese is nice and sticky, like a rubbery, sticky.
Yeah, you need that specific cheese.
Did Big Dairy start this, Tyson?
American cheese is not dairy. It's a
We've already covered that,
food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was this all a distraction by Robert Kraft to get people talking about something else?
Yes.
I did ask my brothers yesterday if Kraft came from the cheese fortune, and it turns out he did not.
He did not. Robert Kraft
He came from the paper industry.
But are they not both one and the same?
Oh, you're saying that the cheese is made out of paper?
No,
it could be.
I think that
Kraft, the same family, they have their fingers in everybody's
Robert Kraft is involved in a lot of different things.
Yeah, that's true. That we did read, but the primary thing didn't come up as cheese.
Right, I believe that they made their money in paper more so than the Kraft foods.
And by the way, again, I don't think Kraft really cared about getting caught.
You don't?
So he didn't throw this out here as a cheesy distraction. I think this is just bored parents. Having just spent a week with my kids alone, I'd see another day and I'm throwing random food objects at my kids' heads just out of pure boredom.
Yeah.
Like what kind of random objects?
Well, I'd have to go through my fridge.
What
could I throw at a kid that wouldn't hurt them or leave
hot dogs?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just correct the record here. So Robert Kraft is a stockholder in Kraft Food, but he is not one of the owners of the Kraft Food Company. So, but maybe just the Kraft Food Company didn't want their name associated with. They saw that too many people were Googling Kraft, and then bad things were coming up, so they needed to change the narrative.
Yep. That kind of makes sense, but this is a great video of this kid getting hit in the face with cheese.
Yeah, so can we explain what the challenge is, Danny?
As far as I can tell, is you film your kid without consent, and then you chuck sticky cheese that come
unwrapped,
wrapped. Yeah, that plastic wrapping. You unwrap it and you throw it on their face, and it sticks. And it looks like the kid's even having a good time.
Yeah. So let's see if we can see one of these videos in action. So here's a kid, and then you take a piece of American cheese and throw it in a baby's face.
It so well.
Yes. It really do. And the sound it makes when it hits them in the face is almost as entertaining as the sight itself.
All right. Now, Tyson, you have a baby that is in the age range to be able to do this. Have you considered doing the cheese challenge?
I haven't, but I will now. That baby was confused.
Yeah.
That baby's like, what just happened? My daughter would laugh for sure.
Certainly Bergen would laugh for sure if this happened to another person.
Marla would too.
Yes. Okay. They would like this?
They would laugh. Yeah. I think they both thought it would be funny.
Yeah. I think that my kids would laugh hysterically if they saw one of these videos, but does the baby in question think it's funny?
I think so.
Some of the babies don't seem to mind, right? Because they
Are
love
there babies
cheese.
that actually look bothered by it?
I'm looking at a video right now of a confused baby, so I don't know if that equals bothered. But
No, I think there are confused babies.
Yeah, he's upset. But to be honest,
Go on.
To be honest, I'm watching the video right now. The baby was upset before the cheese was thrown on its face, and when the cheese landed on its face, it was like the equivalent of like putting the little hood over the falcon to calm it down because it stops being upset.
The hood over the falcon.
Yeah, you know, like how they put the hood over the,
Okay.
the bird so it doesn't fly away. It's kind of like the same thing. It settles the kid down. Like the
Blinders
cheese has
on a
calming-
horse.
Yeah,
Mhm.
blinders on a horse. Thank you. It has like a calming effect. The cheese just calms the kid down. It's like a mud mask made of not cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, made of
So you
cheese
recommend this, Danny? More parents should do the cheese
highly processed
challenge.
cheese flavored food.
Yeah, I was wishing that my girl was a little bit younger so I could chuck cheese at her just to see her response.
Are we sure that we're not doing some sort of irreversible damage to our babies, Tyson?
No, we're not sure at all. Every single thing I do to my kids, I'm like, is this doing irreversible harm currently? What I'm doing?
Okay.
And the short answer, probably yes.
The best part is when they get the cheese on their head, which seems to always stick.
Mm-hmm.
The kids freeze. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, that kid laughed. See, they love it. The
yeah,
kid-
But he got two slices.
These are videos. I think this is a good challenge. It's at least harmless.
yeah. I approve of this
Okay.
challenge. It's way better than Broga. It's way better
Way
than
better than
Tide
Broga.
Pod.
Okay.
Momo. It's better than the Momo
It is
challenge.
way better than Momo challenge. If Momo comes up, you got to get ready to throw that cheese right over your kid's eyes so they don't see
Yeah,
it.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. Should adults participate in the cheese challenge, Tyson? Would Rachel mind if you just threw the slice of the American cheese?
So if I did it as a surprise, she'd probably like kind of jump like, ugh, and then she'd be like, "What are you doing?" like that, and then I'd have it all on camera, and it would be beautiful. So maybe I'll try it.
Okay.
Danny, when Liz gets home today from her girls' trip, will you American cheese her?
Yeah, and I think every adult should cheese themselves just so they know they can sympathize with the kid that they're
Yeah,
throwing
so they
cheese.
can be like, "I did it to myself first."
I know it's harmless because I chuck cheese at my own face.
Yeah.
But actually, I wish I had some cheese. I would throw it at Liz's face.
All
My
right.
kids we were trying to think of a prank last night. All me and my kids to prank my wife. I think this is the perfect one. I'll have all my kids chuck cheese at her.
Yeah, but you have to really
Surprise!
you have to frisbee it right at her face. That's the beautiful part, is the slap on the
Yeah,
face.
the
from
slapping sound is very, very nice.
Okay, let's talk about some other people that are having issues with cheese and other food items. Okay, this is a story that has been widely reported this week. Let's talk about the curious case of people dealing with the side effect of a very popular fitness fad, and it is something that is known as keto crotch, Danny.
When I read
crotch.
this, I was like, there's lots of things you can eat that will change the way you smell. For example, whenever I eat Indian food, let me just say that the whole dynamic of our house changes because my smells change. And so I wasn't surprised by this at all. Just like we talked about the meat sweats, food definitely causes sometimes adverse reactions inside your body.
Okay.
So, I mean, this to me seems like a no-brainer.
So you think keto crotch is real, Danny?
Yeah, I totally do.
Okay. Tyson, do you support the science behind keto crotch?
100%.
Okay.
I think, I have another friend. He's not doing keto, but he will do like 5-day fasts intermittently. Like once a month, he'll just not eat for 5 days. He loses like 10 or 15 pounds in that time. And his wife is like, he smells so much better by the end of the 5 days of not eating than he does while he's eating. And I note that too. Like,
what about your friend that didn't eat for 45 days? How did he smell?
I bet he smelled awesome. Yeah,
good.
I bet he was awesome, but I didn't ask him. So this guy, and I know that I'm stinkier now than I was 10 years ago. And I also know it's from my diet, but at some point you just got to stop caring.
Yeah, that's when you get married. I'll eat whatever I want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Danny, could you give us a reset of what the keto diet is for any listeners who may not be familiar?
Wait, I want to say something about it.
Yo, yes.
Okay. So I have a friend who's on keto right now.
How do you know?
And how do I know?
Yeah.
Because he smells so bad. No, he
the alternate acceptable answer would have been
because he talks about it all the
yeah.
time. Because he told me a bunch of times. If we get pizza, he just eats the cheese and pepperoni off of the pizza.
That'll make you
that's
smell.
gross.
That will make you smell right
But
there.
is it good? But it's good for you.
I guess. The thing with diets is that there is no one diet for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really believe that. Like, some people can benefit from the keto, others need something slightly different because the human body is so, it varies dramatically person
I
to
think
person.
the keto is going to be rough on people, dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the keto diet is a low carb, high fat diet. I mean, that's as much as I can give you right now. I've actually had people recommend that I go on the keto.
Here's
Why?
my theory.
You smell too good?
No,
Yeah.
because of my puking when I run. Sometimes I puke, and once or twice I've had people say, maybe you could try.
Is Mountain Dew compatible with keto?
It better be on the list.
Here's the thing, dudes. If your diet is making you stink so bad, that's not a healthy diet. I think that it's one of the things that has been designed into the human body to tell you that things need to change.
But you hardly ever know. Like, we had that caller or that person who wrote in about his wife's or his girlfriend's breath. A lot of times,
was she on keto?
No, she could be, but she could have also been. Maybe she just eats poorly. Like, some of it's a diet.
But what I'm saying is, people are hesitant to say you smell awful. Like, I'll tell my wife if she smelled awful, but if she had
keto crotch,
but I would tell. I'd be like, that is an awful smell you're emitting. But I think my wife is too nice to do the same thing to me. Like, I probably smell horrible every day.
How does Liz react when you tell her she smells horrible?
Well, I haven't had to.
Okay.
I did the other day. I did apologize to someone for smelling. I'm like, dude, because my exercise clothing, the minute it gets wet again, because I do a terrible job washing it, it reawakens the sweat.
You have to get the athletic specific.
So I started buying all merino wool.
Yeah,
but
that's what this shirt is.
I said, I am sorry, dude. I smell so bad today. Even I could smell it was that strong. And luckily, he turned to me and said, I've lost my sense of smell. Like 80% of it's gone. I was like, these are the friends I need to surround myself with.
So
people with disabilities.
This is an issue. This is according to this article. One distressed person on keto posted to Reddit. I am very smelly. That is,
Now, I must point out, I have read there's two types of sweat. There's regular sweat that comes from physical exertion, and then there's another stinkier sweat called stress sweat.
Yes.
And I've only read that once, so I can't verify whether it's true or not. But I have noticed that in high stress situations, there's a different smell being emitted. So if you're stressed out by the keto diet, I mean, that's just a 1-2 punch. Now you got keto and stress sweat.
Yes.
You're probably disgusting.
This apparently is a thing, and also the article talks about that, especially among women, that it could change the pH in their body, which is something that is a very delicate situation. So that the keto diet is something not for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, I do feel like that the vegan propaganda that's out there, I think that they do really steer into the opposite of this, where I feel like that a lot of the vegan marketing that I see
smell better.
Smell better, and you have more sex, and people want to be with you.
But we've also seen the research that says that you hate parties, and people don't like inviting you to parties.
Well,
so
true.
There's
ups and downs to both.
Right. The world is a confusing place, Danny.
Oh, you don't have to tell me that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Danny can barely get about his day. He's so confused.
Yeah. So is it possible that keto is the ideal diet for people that are single and then just are posting pictures to Instagram talking about keto diet, that nobody
keto.
has to smell them, and that this is the perfect diet for the people who are just observing you with the visual sense?
Yeah, that a lot of people do things just for the Insta, like Orange Theory, CrossFit, vegans, keto,
yoga.
There's lots of things that are yoga. A lot of those
Fun
things
to talk about.
For the Instagram. So this could be an Instagram diet. They can smell all on their own.
Okay.
I think it's all based on where you live. Like, if you live in Santa Monica and you're like, I'm vegan and I do yoga, dude, you are the upper echelon of cool out there.
Yes.
But I think maybe an all meat diet in Santa Monica is maybe not as celebrated. But if you're like in Oklahoma and you're like, I only eat bacon. I have a plate of bacon for breakfast, one more for dinner,
and then I
a
have
sensible
steak
lunch of
wrapped in
turkey.
bacon.
Yeah, exactly. People will
Remember that?
five you out there for that.
Remember the Atkins? Wasn't that an all meat thing? Like where basically you just were double fisting steaks all day long.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm being handed a note from a producer. Yeah. Okay. Good note. This is that we just want to let the listeners know. No need to email or tweet the show to tell us that you do keto and you don't stink. That is just want to make that clear.
Yeah, we
understand. We got it. We got it.
We understand.
No need to post to the Facebook group. Hey, I do keto and I have no problems. We got that. We got that.
Yeah. Some people don't stink on this, but some people will stink more.
But we will accept if somebody's partner does a keto, and then if they want to give a secondhand account information, that we will accept.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the only
first-hand accounts. Please message at PineappleBoy27 with first-hand accounts. Yes, that is the right place to send the I do keto and I do not have any issues. Okay. All right.
That's the official complaint outlet, Pineapple Boy 27, right?
Yes, that's right. That's the fastest way to complain to the show because that goes directly past all of the filters that I have set up on my own stuff. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
Good.
Let's get into our another big story this week. This is an interesting one that comes out of the NFL Scouting Combine. Tyson, are you familiar with the NFL Scouting Combine?
Is that a piece of farming equipment?
No, it's where players that are coming out of college go to sort of like, they really treat these guys who are going into the NFL sort of like livestock of like they measure everything.
That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel.
They go in and run around. It's like baseball tryouts when I was a kid for Pony League. They had you run the bases and
run the bases, but then they measure your hands. They measure like your head. They have you see how many bench presses you can do. They see how high you can jump. So they do all these different things. And then there's like a very intensive interview, and
invasive, obviously,
very invasive. And so one player going into the NFL draft, his name is Chris Boyd. He says that he was asked in an interview by an NFL team, "Do you have two testicles?"
Maybe that question was asked by someone who has 3 or 1, and he was like, "I wonder
or 7.
I got a chance to ask another grown man.
What's normal?
Mm-hmm. Hey,
what is normal?
Do you have two testicles?
Yeah. Now, if this interviewer asked every single person, "Do you have 2 testicles?" Could be an icebreaker, Danny.
Some people just like to get the hard questions out of the way early.
Yeah, get to it immediately.
Yeah,
it's a
here's
good
the make or break. Here's the make or break thing. So I'm just may as well get to it first because I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste my time by asking you 100 questions and getting to this one question that you fail and then we pass on you.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever team this is, probably the Colts, they require that all of their players.
Why the Colts?
Yeah, I just came up with that.
They're the only football team you know.
It just came to mind first.
Yeah. Well, it's maybe it's an icebreaker because then that this person can then get into their story. Like we saw Tom Green on Celebrity Big Brother, and then he was very open about that he had testicular cancer and only had 1 testicle, and was very interested in sharing that story. So maybe that gives the person an opportunity to talk about how they've overcome adversity.
Here's another great story. In a way, just as weird as the double testicle question. North Carolina Charlotte guard Nate Davis said one team official rebuffed his handshake at meeting start. Instead, the official punched Davis in the chest. He was like, "You have a soft chest."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. And we just kept it going. I mean, I've always thought the combine was weird, but this is just take it to the next level.
Yeah, but this is the one moment, the last moment where you truly get to shit on these guys who are going to be making hundreds of millions of dollars.
No, that is not true. Have you seen how teams treat players? The minute they don't think they're worth it, they get rid of them without even telling them, trade them to cities without any discussion.
Right.
These people are
hundreds of millions of dollars.
Not all of them are getting hundreds of millions of dollars.
Well,
I mean, not all these guys being asked about their testicle situation.
Probably not on their first contract.
Yeah.
If a player revealed in interviews that they had 3 testicles, Danny, do you think that their draft stock would rise or fall?
Way up. Yeah.
Way
Yeah,
up.
think of
Way
all
up.
that testosterone.
That
dude.
might slow them down, a 3rd testicle.
No, I think you could construct. You
I think
contact
the
MIT.
the
you get engineers-
testosterone boost.
Yeah,
would
get
be
engineers
far
working on a jock
outweighed.
strap that can hold a 3 testicle situation,
Yeah.
and it's fine.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. The NFL Combine is famous for having these talent evaluators ask weird questions. Probably the most famous of all was when Des Bryant was asked in the NFL Scouting Combine if his mom is a prostitute. That was one that really it's like what that's off base.
Everything about this is off base. It's embarrassing to watch this.
Yeah, but the thing is that all these press stories come out like, is his mom a prostitute? If that was a real concern, and that's going to be a story that pops at some point.
Mhm.
Like I get that it's inappropriate to ask, but at the same time, like if it's true, then, and I don't know how unfounded or founded the question was to begin with.
Mhm.
But if there's an inkling where they're like, hey, are you going to be the next Ken Bone? Like, can we rely on you, or are we going to hire
What do you mean by
you?
the next Ken Bone?
Like they're going to hire this nice, cool Ken Bone dude based on his cool sweater, only to find out that his Reddit history is horrible.
Well,
right.
you guys have probably seen those articles that are like 10 questions asked in an interview for SpaceX, or want to be a Google team member. Here are some questions that new hires have to answer. What if we start seeing up on the list, things about how many testicles?
How many testicles do you have? Is your mother a prostitute?
Is your
How
chest
soft is
very
your
soft?
chest?
Doc? I'm gonna check your soft chest.
Did you do the Momo challenge?
How many Tide Pods have you consumed?
Do you do keto? If so, what is your pH?
So these NFL players, it's not all glory and cash for these guys,
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
Okay. Let's update a story from a ways back, and I want to give a shout out to the listener in our Facebook group that was able to pull the story. This was from way back in 2017, I believe. We talked about a local school in Utah, which was going to be changing. They had like a contest to determine their school mascot, and they were going to be the phoenixes, plural of the word phoenix. Do you remember this, Tyson?
Yeah, I remember it. The
Okay.
Farmington phoenixes.
Yes. So let me just give it.
Well, that was the third option. The two
Yes,
write-in
well, that's what
questions
we came
got
to
more.
learn. And shout out to Mike Higgins, who gives us the update of the story we originally talked about in episode number 111 of News AF on November 14th, 2017.
Wow, we've been doing it for that long.
Longer than that.
Man, how many episodes do we have out now?
I don't know.
Like 700?
Not 700, but in the high 100s.
I just hope it's enough episodes for Google to reconstruct AF AI.
Yeah.
Then podcast for eternity.
Yes, this is News AF number 179, Tyson.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
that's not- oh, we're good.
So the write-in options were A, the Farmington fascists. That was the overwhelming clear victory.
with Mussolini as the mascot.
They couldn't find somebody who could make a Mussolini costume. So then second was the Farmington farts,
Yeah.
which was also a write-in.
Mhm.
I like that one.
They passed on that. And then they said the default that wasn't a write-in, the first winner of the non-write-in section was the Phoenix. But then they realized that when you pluralize Phoenix, it's penises.
Mhm.
And they are almost thinking about not going with that and changing it to Eagles. And I was
Oh,
like,
I
in the
hope they were-
future, every school is just going to be the Eagles. I probably went to 17 different schools that all had the Eagles as their mascot.
I love the fascists.
That's
It's
so
like-
good, right?
It's like a word a bunch of high school kids kind of knew and vaguely understood. They're like, yeah, man. We're the
it's kind of offensive and like not really appropriate, but
Their chant is make the trains run on time.
Yeah. So of the three, I guess the school felt like penises is the least offensive of those words. Dan, do you agree with that in the ranking?
Yeah, I like this. I think they should stick with Phoenuses. We've all accepted it as their mascot already. Why change a good thing? It's gotten them tons of press. I mean,
So are they
there's-
going to have a phoenix costume or a big old dong costume? I
maybe
think they
they
should
can
have
blend the
both.
two.
Dude,
Well, I
the
think you need
student
two if
body-
it's plural, Tyson.
Yeah, the student body two big old dongs.
Yeah,
or
I think
two
like sort of
phoenixes?
like crossing.
Two phoenuses.
Yeah.
Is it really pronounced phoenuses?
Or did someone just make that up in the moment?
And we're all going with it.
Yeah.
Because I would say phoenixes.
Again, I want to go back to something we talked about with Bodie McBoatface. Never, ever allow the public to choose.
And if
The
you
name.
do, you have to go with it.
Yes.
Because otherwise you are breaking voting. It's not working anymore.
Okay.
Just don't do it. How come nobody ever learns? We just repeat the same mistakes over and over again.
Yeah. Okay,
Don't
so
give them a
according,
write-in allowance.
according to the
Don't allow them to
Wiktionary,
write in.
the plural of phoenix is either phoenixes or phoenuses. So it could be either one.
Okay, there you go.
They could be teaching the rest of the world about the plural.
The Phoenix.
Yeah, the Phoenix. And instead of being an educational tool, they're just going to go with the easy layup with eagles. How stupid is that? How many
Yeah.
eagles are there? Come
So
on.
many.
I mean, that Farmington phoenuses.
It's got some flow.
I mean, open up the school store online. People are going to be buying Phoenix's merch everywhere. And
Did you do like this hand side when you were like talking about
Sure.
the phoenuses?
Sure.
Left and right phoenuses.
I think that this is a brilliant idea. I mean, forget whatever funding issues that the school has, you'll be selling all sorts of Phoenix paraphernalia. Yeah. So you forget it. So I think they're making a big mistake. Nobody wants Farmington Eagle gear.
Yeah,
No,
nobody
it's
wants
so
that.
dumb, dude. I don't need another stupid eagle.
Yeah,
Let's do something cool like ground
Yeah.
squirrel or maggots.
I mean,
or...
Danny, you don't think that the Phoenix's Rise shirt won't be going like
I
hotcakes?
would love to hear that chant. If they had that chant, I'd have them do it at my funeral with their fist pumping at the same time. I mean, that's
you're
a
gonna
chant I
hire.
could get
You're gonna
behind.
hire their marching band for your funeral.
to like do the design on the playing field of the Phoenix rising.
Of a
Mhm.
bunch of
The Phoenix is rising.
Phoenuses rising and meeting
From the
together in
ashes.
middle. Two
Okay.
giant phoenuses.
All right. Danny, do you have a story for this week's Bolt Hole?
Yeah, I've got a great story. So don't interrupt me with that song. Just play it
Okay.
now.
All right.
Fine.
All right. Here we go.
Welcome to my bolt hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel
That's the wrong banner.
I know.
a nocturnal
Yeah.
Do. Okay, sometimes you think you're all alone in the world. Like you like certain things, and only
Sometimes or all the times.
it depends on the individual.
hmm
And so you live in like what you think is a bubble, and you've discovered something, and it's your discovery, only to find out later that there were other people who loved the same thing, maybe even more than you. And
What?
it's kind of interesting to know that you had this group of individuals who shared your beliefs and views. And in this case, and you guys are going to appreciate this, I stumbled across an article on NPR about Florida and its weirdness, and found out that there was already a huge group of individuals who appreciated Florida and its news. They actually had something called the Florida Man.
Yeah, that's on Reddit.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't
Florida
know
Man?
about this.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
if you search on Reddit for Florida Man, any article that starts with Florida Man is automatically uploaded to this Reddit page.
So I feel
And
foolish
it's
because,
millions
yeah, I guarantee you,
articles.
lots of people, when we started talking about Florida, lots of people.
Okay. So,
probably
so
already
wait,
knew
if the article starts with Florida man,
No,
attempts
that's not
to,
it. Well, this article says that they've created a list of the greatest Florida man stories. And by the way, now there is also a Florida woman story.
Woman, yeah.
And
Okay.
that Florida man, here's the definition. A Florida man tends to generally have firearms, locations, I mean like weird locations, bodies of water, theme parks, Walmarts, Taco Bells, fast food places, alligators for sure, reasons for arrest, injuries, drugs and alcohol, and sometimes reptiles. So there's a list of things that we already knew. Like we had a list in our head that when we saw a Florida story, we checked all the boxes and we knew that was a Florida.
Yeah.
Somebody had already created all those boxes. They had put together a group. The Twitter has something like 500,000 followers, I believe. If I remember the story. There was a huge group of people out there appreciating Florida long before we came along. But we just kind of caught up to the fact that Florida seems to be like a central location for very strange news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, instead of having to pull all these stories on our own,
You know what they say?
we can
All
join
greyhounds lead to Florida.
Do they say that?
Yeah.
Or is that something that you
That's
say?
something we say.
Some JetBlue flights too.
So the Miami
some
Herald has compiled a list of the 10 greatest Florida man stories.
Okay.
And here's the interesting thing. We didn't cover, as far as I can tell, any of them.
Wow.
What?
So we're way behind.
Maybe they're not
Florida.
truly the greatest stories.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously, it's very subjective, the list.
All right, so you have a list of the top 10 greatest Florida man stories.
Stories exactly.
That have the term Florida man in the headline, such as Florida man performs his own gastric bypass.
Yes.
Well, the number one story, and because it has the most Florida man elements as defined by the Florida man group, is that the man drove up through a Wendy's drive-through. So you have Wendy's, and he threw an alligator through the drive-through window.
We covered that one.
That was the one I thought that we covered. So I'm glad that you said that, Tyson.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect. It's in a pickup truck, and probably drugs were involved. Here's another story. Number two. A man who threw a bearded dragon lizard in the air, swinging it around and slapping his employees with the bearded lizard.
Yeah, a lot of lizards and reptiles involved in these Florida man stories.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think that he also put the lizard in his mouth. So it has reptiles, an interesting location, and we could just assume probably drugs. And so it goes down like that. And as I read this list, I thought, you know what? It's just, and I even talked to my dad about this, about Florida. They tried to get to the heart of the Florida man. Like, why Florida? And there seems to be mixed opinions on why Florida seems to get these very, very strange stories. I don't remember any of our theories, but I know we had some.
So I think it's probably, nice weather. I think
Definitely.
that it's also like the, I think it's romanticized a little bit. I think it's the California of the East. No state income tax. Perhaps, corrupt government where loose laws on certain issues. So I think it attracts a lot of grifters.
Sounds like they need to tighten the reptile laws, because there are
Loose
a lot of
reptile
crimes involving
laws.
reptiles.
Yeah, but there's a lot of wild reptiles. All those reptiles probably survive out there naturally anyways. Like they have a huge problem with exotic snakes living in the wild now and everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just nice to know that there are people, and Tyson obviously knew this, I didn't, but we were part of a much larger group, and we're only discovering now that there's a whole world of Florida man and Florida woman out there, people who appreciate the weirdness of Florida. I
think the game is you just Google Florida man and Google search news, and new stuff is always constantly coming up.
Yeah. So the Florida Man Reddit, very interesting. Reddit.com/r/Florida Man. Florida man stabs coworker with machete in mall food court. Florida man rescues grandma floating away on the ice throne. Oh, we didn't cover that story this week. Did you see about the grandma?
Yeah. That's not Florida man. See, no, stop right there. I'm going to have to ban this Reddit group from actually representing.
Why?
Florida. Because the one who she was in Iceland that went away on the ice floe. That's not a Florida story.
But it was a Florida man rescued her.
I don't think that counts. I think these things have to take place in Florida.
Here we go.
Okay,
a guy with a face tattoo, Florida man arrested for throwing cookie at his girlfriend. Is that good, Danny?
If it took place in Florida, it has
So here's
an element, a weird guy. So yes.
Here's one. This is the top one for the day in the Google search. It happened 3 days ago. Florida man arrested for masturbating at open window while watching students walk home.
Yeah, see?
That could take
place. That could happen anywhere.
Yeah, that's not a Florida man.
Did he have an alligator?
Yeah.
I don't know. Florida man who allegedly threatens family with Coldplay lyrics ends standoff after SWAT promises him pizza.
Okay, that's a Florida man story. I feel like that's more Florida man. Did it take place in Florida?
Yes.
Okay, so I feel like they maybe need to filter their Florida man stories a little bit better to really
Florida man
represent.
stages fake DUI trial to propose to his girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was a Florida man story about in
Florida
this list.
man accused of being fake doctor claiming to cure diabetes.
Okay. Yes,
about right.
those are good. Those are ones we would talk about. I think that what they need to do is maybe refine their list by going through the AF filter
Yeah.
and putting out only the finest, most refined Florida man stories. Because some of those, they're a little bit, they're playing fast and loose with the Florida man.
Well,
Okay.
it's not whether or not they meet the criteria. It's if it happened in Florida and the article starts off with Florida man. Florida man attacked by aggressive coyote fights off with coffee cup.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Florida man charged with fixing cars with Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Is that a real, Tyson? Is that, I mean, Rob, is that a real story?
That's from Business Insider.
Sorry, I'm looking at a Florida man story about man riding bicycle backwards in what appears to be a thong bikini down I-95.
Yeah. I mean, they're all Florida men.
Florida man police arrests couple so they could make out in the back of the police car.
All right. You know what? Tyson's right. I don't think it has to start off with Florida man because then it means that it could happen somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if it starts with Florida man and takes place in Florida,
I think it has the term Florida man in the headline.
I think it has to take place in Florida.
Okay.
Only in Florida.
Only in Florida. Yeah. All right. You could take the man out of Florida, but you can't take the Florida out of the man. Okay.
I want that on my headstone.
Okay,
license
done.
plate.
We have it actually here documented.
All right.
So we can do it.
All right. Danny, anything else this week?
No, that's it. Just wanted to touch a little bit on the floor. I just wanted to touch the Florida man a little bit.
Yeah,
you did.
Easy. All right. Tyson, anything else? Any reviews? Anything you want to touch on?
Oh, I'll check reviews real quick since we haven't had any for a while. And do you know how
newsaf.news, of course, the place to go for all of the latest News AF reviews and places to subscribe to the podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Still need us to stall,
We
Tyson.
got a lot of stories in the Facebook group about different ways people are a lot of urine stories. I felt like
that guy.
The guy.
I saw that. He drinks chilled urine.
Yeah, drinks his urine every day.
Golden diet.
That I had a friend who I had gone to there was like some sort of a function that we went to, and this is probably like 9 or 10 years ago, and that my friends had a new girlfriend. And the new girlfriend was talking about how she is, a big proponent of drinking her own urine. That was, and we were just like, wow, this. I don't know if my friend knew about this, but this was something that she had been talking about, and everybody was like, we don't know how to. What's the correct?
I wonder how that makes you smell.
Yeah. What do we talk about from there?
Yeah,
I think drinking your own urine is definitely going to make you stinky.
I think so. It
would
depends
think so,
what you're eating, probably. Are you
Everybody
on
I've met that drinks their own urine.
Yeah.
And it could be for other hygienic reasons that they're stinky, but they are,
It doesn't make any sense. Unless you're in some sort of like dire survival situation. I don't think that you're supposed to do that.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think that's what
it's all the stuff your body rejected.
But none of us are shamans, so
I guess not.
I like to drink urine while being purified by burning sage.
There you go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like
it's recommended on Goop. I don't have any reviews.
No problem. Okay. All right. So
we don't have any reviews.
That's going to do it for us here for News AF for this week. Thanks so much to Scott St. Pierre putting this all together. If you want to be part of our News AF Facebook group, you know what to do. Look us up on Facebook. We are Group AF, and come on in. We'll be back next week with more News AF. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
We did it, guys.